Welcome to the NGEN Markets training session. While others are joining in, we will start to take a look towards the topic we are going to have today. So today's topic is all about analyzing mutual fund categories. So we will show you certain ways where you can analyze categories and come up with a certain set of mutual funds into your comparison reports. And then we will be having a Q&A where you can, ask the questions and we will address them up. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone and my voice is audible. So I will just show you my terminal so that we can get started. Okay. So as you can see, I have loaded NGEN Markets and in this terminal itself, there are a couple of things we need to be aware about. One thing here is that once you take a look towards, the entire portal, uh, wherever you want to check multiple sets of categories, you can easily do that just by clicking on this fund section and coming into this category averages. Now this is very useful because in this particular section, what you can do is you can select a plan, which is a direct or a regular plan. It depends on you to select. And secondly, you can also select asset classes as well. So let's say we consider a use case where we are selecting certain asset classes, uh, and then we can actually take a look towards it. So let's say a use case is equities here, right? So within equities, you can see multiple sets of parameters here. Now you can, if you just scroll beside, we have given a lots of parameters. We are going to explore them one by one. So what does this category averages actually means? This actually shows you the average of the number of funds that is there in the entire category based on certain parameters. So if you're talking about Sharp, which is 0.30 for sectoral diversified, this is the Sharp's ratio for all the 55 funds, which accounts for 0.30 as a Sharp ratio. If I want to drill down of one particular category, let's say I'm sorting it in such a way, and I want to drill down in one particular category in small caps, I can easily do that just by clicking on it. So you can see the underlying funds, which accounts for 24 funds, and the 0.68 Sharps ratio, which has been given here, is due to these funds since the inception of their entire set of the fund. So every single small cap funds which we have shown you, that can be given as a category averages given here. And this is also another way to compare it with peer. So if you have seen it in the peer comparisons of any other funds, like SEBI classification average, essentially this is a classification average itself. So this is a sharp average of the entire small cap funds, which can be compared with all these small cap funds easily by the system, right? You can see there is 0.68, whereas if I'm comparing UTI small cap, it is higher than the SEBI average. So that is how you can actually take a look towards, and not just these parameters. If I take a look towards other parameters, right, you can actually go beside and see the other parameters. Now there might be a possibility that there are some funds which are quite young. So like PGM small cap is quite young, so you will see only 1 year data set, but you can see some data sets which are quite old enough to be compared with the SEBI average. So like for a 5 year, if I check like how IDBI small cap has actually back tested for a 5 year returns, that you can see it is lesser than the SEBI average of small cap. And that is how you can take a look towards every single parameter. And once you're done with this, once you can see all these parameters, even for the calendar years, you can add these funds into the compare. So there are two ways to add funds into the compare. One is this single button, which can easily which helps me to add all the funds to compare to do my comparative analysis. Another one could be adding the SEBI category from here itself. So let's say you have this list, and now you want to remove this list like this and add another list. So all I have to do is just type in mid caps, and it easily adds those funds into this particular compare section. So let's get back to the category averages, because we are talking about how we are going to compare categories anyways. So here you can see in the compare categories, let's say I want to compare it within one single parameters. Let's say for a parameter of 5-year return, right? So for the asset class of equity, what I can do is I can just easily sort it. And once I sort it, I can easily see that sectoral infotech for a 5-year period. This is the return set. And this is the average return set for the entire sectoral infotech. And yes, you have to take a look towards how many fund counts there has been, because even a number of, if there is a number of fund counts as one, will actually give you an average of only one fund. So you have to take a look towards the number of fund counts, because that is very, very important when you are looking towards a category averages. So here you can take a look towards not just this number of return sets for 5 years, 7 years, and 10 years. Basically, you can look for the calendar years as well. So let's say as a use case, if you want to know that in 2020, which of the category as a particular average in a category has actually given a highest performance. So you can see in 2020, it's sectoral pharma, sectoral infotech, small caps, and then the list goes on. Whereas you can do it for 2021, 2018, especially to check the risk. You can see only one category has been in positive, and 2017 as well. And even for this positive, I mean, if you see this positive, you would definitely want to know what is the contributing factor, because there might be some infotech fund that might have given the negative returns. So you can just check it out here in the panel itself, and you can see for 2018 every single infotech were in positive. So for 2018 periodical year. So that is how you can take a look towards any particular equity mutual funds here in the system, just by clicking on this category averages. And just not just for equities, if I want to check for debt, right, I can do that for debt as well, just by clicking on it, or maybe both of them together. So even for debt, if I want to check some risk parameters, right, so there are some couple of risk parameters like historical value at risk, implied value at risk. This gives me an idea that if I'm taking a look towards the riskiest category in debt, what are those? So what you can do is for is implied value at risk, which is VARI, which is actually considering the volatility and showing you that there is a 5% chance, then you can have such a loss. Now, in this case, you're taking a look towards an average loss of credit risk fund, right? Now, what you can do is you can click on this, and you can see there are a couple of funds which is having a very high loss or very low loss. You can easily see that for multiple sets of funds, and you can do it for the categories, entire set of debt categories as well, for a historical value at risk or an implied value at risk. So that is how this works out for any asset classes you go towards, even for a hybrid fund, which includes balance advantage. You can take a look towards the VAR and the sharps, and even other parameters like 1 year, 1 month, and even the calendar years itself. So it gives you a comprehensive view, whereas you can actually compare multiple sets of categories and then select them all together into the screener. So let's say you have taken a decision of taking certain categories in equities and hybrid. You can take them, club them up, and add them into the screener. How do we do it? All we have to do is just come to the screener, filter the categories, take certain sets of categories here. Let's say we have taken a consideration of these categories all together, and then you can analyze it with certain set of filters. So these are the filters we have given here. You can add these filters with the minimum Sharpe ratio as per needed, and then apply them. Once you apply them, this is what the entire criteria is. These are the funds which fits your criteria once you have selected the category, and then you can easily add them into the system just by adding them to compare. So these are the couple of buttons. These are the buttons which will be used for you to add into the compare section. And you can easily see that there are funds which are added into the compare section because of we have taken a look towards we have actually selected into the compare section from the fund section. So that is how you can use category averages effectively to actually take a look towards category on the basis of risk, and even on the basis of returns. And one important thing is that whatever AUM you see, this is average AUM. So we have got a couple of queries here that this AUM is not reflecting properly, but this is an average AUM of particular set of category. So if you click on it, you will see the AUM of every single category given here. So let's say we go for large caps, you will see the large caps given here as per, as per required. So you can see Axis Blue Chip is having 36,000 crores, and accordingly you can see for every single large cap fund once you click on it. So this is a good way to actually take a look towards underlying funds, and also you can add these funds effectively into the compare just by clicking on one button. So if you want to compare the entire category, there is a very useful way directly from the category averages. You can add funds into the compare section. So that is how this works out for the category averages. Another thing is that you can also download this category averages into the system as an Excel report, or as a CSV file. If I click on it, it gets downloaded into the system, as you can see, and I will open it up to you, up in front of you, to show what are the things which are included, because these are the couple of things which you can use it in your customized report for the, maybe for the PowerPoint, or maybe for maybe for your own purpose in the research as well. So this actually shows you all the categories with the counts and everything in one single place. Entire data set is available, and the most important thing, that number of fund counts is given here. So if you're talking about the gilt funds with 10-year constant duration, there are only 5. So that is how the category reflects here, category averages reflects here. And I hope this Excel screen is visible to everyone. If not, please let me know, because I've been showing it around. So that's how this works out for the entire set of downloadable function, which can be used for the download category averages. Now, the important thing here is that you can also check holdings for the category. Now, for holdings for the category is pretty easy. All you have to do is just check the holdings analysis. To check the holdings analysis, you just go to the holdings analysis, go to the sector changes, and once you are there into the sector changes, all you got to do here is just select one equity category altogether. So even for a debt, if you go for debt, it will load in the debt categories essentially, but we are just checking equity as of now. So for equity category itself, let's say I am typing in flexi cap. So you can easily see this is the flexi cap, and this entire this entire data set is only right now for the flexi cap itself. So what you're doing right now is checking that what is the average sector holding in flexi cap fund. For all flexi cap fund taken into consideration, 20.97 is an average sector holding for banking. And if I click on it, I can see all the flexi caps in one single place. So you can see the percentage, the percentage holding, this is the average. If you see the average of all these percentage, you would definitely go around with 20%. And the amount in crores. So the Kotak flexi cap is having the highest amount in crores within the flexi cap, within the banking sector. And you can also change this value rupees invested in crores to check the entire category itself. So that is how this works out for the yes. So that is how this works out for the flexi cap, any particular category you add into the category averages, into the holdings analysis. And even for the category, we have already given a list here, so you can explore this list, because this is a very, very useful list. And we have discovered it that if you go for mid caps, if you want to know that what is the pharma exposure of mid cap, if you want to if you want to take a look into it, so you can just click on this mid caps and you can just check the pharma exposures, and this will show you that this is the 10,192 crores has been invested into pharmaceuticals through these sets of funds, right? So you can click on this and you can see which is having the highest percentage. So effectively you can say that L&T mid cap is having the highest holding in pharma, as per taking into consideration of mid cap funds only. And if you click on this amount, you can say, efficiently say that HDFC mid cap is having the highest amount in crores invested into the pharma sector. So you can actually do that for many sectors. You can see there are so many sectors involved, even including trading, tobacco products, even the mining. So you can take a look into it and you can see the percentages accordingly. So this is just for mid cap I've shown you. And if you clear this up, it will show you for the entire set of mutual funds in the equity category, which considers the banking, finance, pharmaceuticals, automobiles, every single thing in one single place. And there's another important thing is filter holding types. So you can filter the holding types with equities. There are derivatives involved. There are T-bills. So, if you're taking a look towards certain sets of funds like balance advantage, you would definitely want to take a other look towards other, holding types, so that it will be reflected into the holdings analysis. So holdings analysis is another overview which actually, once you decide a category, right? Let's say I decide a category of focused funds, I would definitely want to know what are the top three or five sectors these focus funds are focusing upon. Like if you see in this percentage format, you can see that top three are banking, IT, and trading. So if I click on this trading, how many fund is there? Only quant focus. So essentially, this entire trading is just coming from one single fund, right? So you can definitely take a look upon it, and then that's how this works out for the average sector holding. That is why we have also given the value, where you will not see trading here, because the value invested in Crores will show you the entire set of value which has been invested in Crores through all the mutual funds in focused category into this particular set of sector. So if you click on, let's say, pharmaceuticals or automobile, you click on this, you will see all the funds with the percentages and the amount invested in Crores. So that's the that's the essential part of it for the categories. And once you're done with this analysis of category averages, which is a very useful analysis anyway, what you can do is you can actually generate some automated reports here. So we have also given this automated reports for your what you can do here is that every single morning, post 9 o'clock, you can automate these reports. First I will show you this report. All you have to do is just click on it. It gets downloaded in Excel, and once it is downloaded, you can actually check the entire set of reports where it actually shows you all the categories in one place. Now it depends on you which category would you like to explore, but this is as of 23rd September, as of today. I open this up, and once it is open, it will show you all sets of categories, and the parameters with the analytics in the Excel itself, which is quite useful if you want to take a look into a report format. And generally, if you want to have these reports on a mail, so if you have not activated it, you will see this plus button, right? So what you have to do is just click on this subscribe button, and easily you will be subscribed. So essentially, on the mail, on your registered mail, on this particular login ID, you will receive it every single day on a working period. So here, let me just show you this report. One minute. Okay, so this is a customized report. I mean, this is a Excel based report, you can see, and it shows you the report as of this particular date, and you can actually explore certain multiple categories in one single report, right? So if I click on, let's say, multi-cap, I will see all the multi-cap funds, and I can actually explore all the parameters within multi-cap. And here itself, you can also change the statistic, because changing the statistic is very, very easy. This entire set of statistic, if you see, the AUM, if you want to see based on, not just based on AUM, but you want to see from Sharps ratio perspective, then you will see these are the funds which is having some Sharps ratio accordingly. So you can actually hover them up, and you can see the details directly into the system, right? And these are the essential details for this entire multi-cap category, which we have given here for your analysis. So this is all customizable. You can use this data sets for a customized report, and every single category is actually explorable, right? And if you want to go to index, all you have to do is just click on this go to index. You come back into the reports, and you can explore, let's say, a hybrid category, let's say dynamic asset allocation, and you can see all the BAF, balance advantage fund, in one single place. So this all data sets are given to you in a very consolidated format, and changing the statistic is also given. So let's say I want to check which balance advantage funds have given the best 5-year returns. You can easily check that, which balance advantage fund is having, since inception, the return sets. You can check that as well. So it's a pretty good way to actually check any single category in one single place. That is one thing. And Another thing is that we have also added category average here. As you can see here, that this is the category averages which we were talking about since we started this session, right? And this category averages shows you that accordingly, for the BAF, this is the entire set of category averages. You can check the YTM, the inception return, and every single thing in one single shot. So that's how this works out. And one more important thing is that, in the screener itself, I have seen this, personally, that you face a difficulties in adding multiple, a big set of funds into the compare section, instead of selecting this one by one. So we have given a way. It is a bit of a, manual way, but you can actually apply this and it will be very, very useful. Let's say I'm considering that I want to, have some certain set of lesser funds. 1 second. Okay, let's say I want to add these all funds into the compare section. So what you have to do is you can just explore this result in CSV. And we have given a way to, to actually keep ISIN numbers as well. So this is an update, which is a smaller update we have given for everyone, that we have also given ISIN numbers for every single fund added into the system. So all you have to do is just take this ISIN numbers. I'm just going to delete this entire thing, keep it as, 100 as of now. Just a second. Okay. 1 second. And then you just, copy this entire ISIN code into the, portfolio section, which can easily help you to add it into the compare section. So this is, one thing you could do to add it into the, portfolio section itself. Just a moment. I will show you how do you add it. 1 second. Yeah. So once you come back, you can just go into the portfolio section. There's a portion where you can add ISINs. I can add the ISINs from here and I can validate the input. So once I validate the input, all these funds are added. All I have to do is run it instead of creating it. And once it is, once it is done into my system, all I need to do is just click on compare button. So it easily, gives you all those funds. If you want to add in 50 funds, you can easily add that. So once I add them to the compare, all sets of funds gets added into the compare, and you do not have to select it one by one. So this is one way we have devised it so that you can use it. It's just a hack, but we would be developing another way for this. But this is a very useful way to add in multiple sets of categories with multiple sets of filters you have applied into the, screener, which can be added into the compare section. And then later down the line, you can just save it as a list. So you can just save it 1, 2, 3 and done. So the list is saved. Now you don't have to do the same process again. It is saved. You can just access this entire list from the save section, the my list section. So that is how, that is how this works out. I have actually completed this session for today. So we may start with our Q&A session. So any questions you have, any queries, we can, start addressing them. So are there any questions? Yeah. So can you do, so there's another question. Can you do the comparison for index fund categories? So you can add any particular fund into the compare tab. All you have to do is, you can just check all those funds into the SEBI category here itself. So, even in the screener, we have given a way to check only those index funds. So let's say I'm just taking a look towards index funds here. So all I have to do is just click on this index, right? And once I'm done with this, I'll just have to clear this out. Yeah, you will see all these index funds. Now you can easily add these index funds into the compare, and that is how you can do the comparisons of all the index funds into the compare section. So all the index funds added into the system, Based upon the filters, you can add them, so that your clutter of all the data sets is lower and your decision making can get faster just by adding them into the compare section. Okay, there's another question in the direct message. How to check the overlapping of the stocks in the funds? Very good question. To check, the overlapping of the stocks, all you need to do is first you need to add funds into the compare. That is the first criteria you should follow. So let's say I'm just taking a small list. I'm not gonna, complicate this. Let's say I'm taking a diversified list here itself. So let's say maybe a small list of my 15 funds. Now, these are different sets of categories. Some are focus, some are contra funds, flexi caps, all are added into the system. And considering that, I want to compare I want to see the positional overlap between some dividend yield and focus fund. What I have to do is just check this position overlap, which actually is a stock underlying exposure overlap. I click on this position overlap and I can easily see a very high overlap between some funds like Kotak Blue Chip versus Kotak Flexi Cap. So this entire matrix is a mirror image anyway. You can check the lower version or the upper version. We can check this one. So if you see this, this shows you 64%, which actually shows that Kotak Flexi on the upper side versus the Kotak Blue Chip in the left side. If you click on it, you can see the number of, all those stocks and which are overlapping. And this is the overlap which we have given here. So that is how, you can actually check an overlap, not just for, one category, but for multiple set of category as well. So any particular overlap, you click on it, let's say 40% between Mirai Asset Blue Chip versus Invesco Contra, you can just click on it and you can see the overlapping between them. It's a pretty, a seamless way to take a look towards diversification. So let's say in a hypothetical case, if we are considering such sets of funds for my client's portfolio, I would not want to have Kotak Flexi and Blue Chip together because they are anyway 64% same. So that is how you can take a look towards the positional overlap. So are there any other questions? Okay, fair enough. Seems we do not have any other questions, so we will wrap this session up for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for visiting this session. We will come up again with certain sets of new updates and functionalities in the next week. We will be updating every one of you. If you have any queries or anything, please let us know in the next session. We will definitely address them. So you do not have to worry that if your queries are not solved in this session. Uh, and yes, we have this session every single Friday, 4 o'clock. I have got a direct message here. So regardless of any time, we always have this session on 4 o'clock. So you can definitely visit us. You're always welcome on this, sessions. And one more important update is that we are currently in process of updating couple of videos. Uh, you can check the videos here in the knowledge base as well, because some of the users are not able to, know that if we have videos or not. All you have to do is just click on this videos. Once you click on this videos, you will be directed to our channel. You can either subscribe it or not, it depends on you, but all you can do is you can actually check all the videos which are added. And we are in the process of adding more videos, shorter form videos, which will be very, very helpful for you, which will, definitely you can take a look towards. So all the videos, the playlist, everything is, publicly available for every one of you. You can specifically view that, and even this session for today will be recorded and will be added into this, particular portal. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a, nice weekend to everyone. We will catch up again in the next week. So thank you.